Alright guys, TacticalRab here again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And there is a lot going on right now in the COD scene. Some news and rumours regarding the World Championship just around the corner in a couple of weeks' time. But also with the Challengers Champs underway, some storylines and drama has certainly gone down over there these last 24 hours or so. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, this is the roadmap for the rest of World Cold War, Warzone Season 5, all that type of stuff. You may well notice here on the left-hand side, new multiplayer maps, that being Slums. So once again, they just love remastering maps in this game, to be honest. Like, so many of the maps right now are remasters. Slums seems to be one they bring back almost every single year at this point into the track title, so not a massive surprise to see that returning. Was a cracking map back in the day, of course, way too late for it to come into the competitive scene, but for Hardpoint, but for Capture the Flag, it was actually a very good competitive mode back in Black Ops 2, but it wasn't played in the last couple of iterations of the title because it didn't really play so well in the jetpack era, and with the movement that we had, this game it may actually play pretty well, but of course it's too late for stuff like that. As Hint says right here, Slums is coming back, so could be good on the content side, and always enjoyable to play some of these old Black Ops 2 maps. Of course, people complain that they're not making new maps, and you know, to be honest, at the end of the day, if there's some classic maps from like previous games, like I don't really mind them bringing back every single year, because it's probably to the benefit of the COD scene, to be honest, that we have good maps to play on in the competitive rotation. But we don't necessarily need the same maps every single year. Like, bringing some new maps in is good, but I don't mind recycling old maps for the betterment of the competitive scene. Of course, in this case, Slums is not going to be there, but as Octane says, look, Slums, Raid, Express, and Standoff now, Cold War is a Black Ops 2 reskin at this point, which is kind of true, but the movement isn't quite the same, not quite what Black Ops 2 was back in the day. Weapons aren't quite as fun to use, but you know, maybe at some point we'll get a proper Black Ops 2 remaster, and then we could all rejoice at that one. Wanted to mention this from Claystat most certainly. I've been finding that silence speaks louder sometimes, but wanted to tell everyone I'm doing a lot better. Very appreciate the support, and also find the hate downright shameful. Take care of each other. So great to hear that Clays is feeling a lot better after his hiatus that he's kind of taken these last couple of weeks and stepping away from the subliners. The question is certainly there, I think, right now in probably Clayster's mind, and also in the rest of the subliners and the community's mind. Will he be back for the World Championship? We said yesterday that it's possible that New York might even refuse if he does want to come back to the team, because whether the rest of the squad actually wants to play with him. But at the same time, I'm sure if Clayster is feeling better and ready to go and raring to go, then well, I'm sure he'd want to play, because at the end of the day, Clayster is one of the only players, if not the only player, who's been to like every single $1 million tournament in COD history. So he's been to all the World Championships. There's only a select few players that have done that, from all the way back in Black Ops 2. I'm pretty sure he went along with some Italians because his team fell through or something. He's been to every champ since then, of course won 3 of them, including Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 4 and Modern Warfare, which of course was online last season. He wants to do that again this year, right, and become the first ever player to, win 4 World Championships first of all, but also go back to back, which would be pretty unprecedented, which isn't out of the realms of possibility, at least in stage 3. I thought there was a good chance that might happen. Now looking at it, it doesn't look so likely, right, given the situation that subliners currently find themselves in, but who knows. And I believe Clayster also went to the first ever $1 million tourney at COD XP back in Modern Warfare 3 that I'm pretty sure Scump didn't attend, so there is, I'm pretty sure Clayster's like one of the only players that's been to all these tourneys. I think Tommy was one of the other ones that had been to every single World Champs before he stepped out to play Warzone last season, now for 100 Thieves. So certainly I'm sure Clayster wants to keep that record going, and well, he might be able to do so if he does feel ready to go here on the subliners. Whether they want him back, whether they'll allow him back, that is certainly another question that we may well see over the coming days and weeks, because they've still got some time to decide what they want to do ahead of the World Championship on the 19th of August. And speaking of the World Championship, did think this was kind of funny. You guys may well be familiar with the Touch You Can't Wallbang that clip from, what was it, Map Warhawk, way back in Call of Duty Ghost. Have to do some sort of video looking at that on the Breaking Boy channel during the off-season most likely. But yeah, Touch says right here, you know what's going on, Maven, because he kind of insinuates about that when Touch gets this successful wallbang off on Inside right here on Standoff, and well, the best commentator maybe we meet at Champs, will he be at the venue, or are you commentating from home? Will be there, says Maven. So that was one of the real big issues, to be honest, with Stage 5. The only real problem with that entire event was the fact that the casters weren't there, because if they were there, it would have cleaned up some of the issues as well, because there were some problems, the fact that by the time that the casters had commentated over what games they were seeing, and then that had been played back into the stadium, there was like a couple of seconds delay between what the players actually were doing on the main stage and what the big screen was showing, and to be aligned with the casters. And of course they can't get quite into the atmosphere in the venue and get the crowd hyped up and stuff if they're not actually there in person. So certainly something which I'm very happy to see. And Maven says, okay, yes, they will be at the World Championships in LA, and Miles says a similar thing. You will indeed be seeing it, thanks to those of you who pointed this out to me. So yes, great to hear. But speaking of the World Championship, of course, there is also the Challengers Champs going on at the present time, and Doug Censor Martin was looking to do pretty well, down 1-2 to qualify for bracket play, had to turn up GG's 2-hour pool. So So Doug and co got out of their pool pretty successfully, 38-19 right here for Doug Censor Martin, and then wins the final Search and Destroy as well in pretty impressive fashion to get over line and to get into that top 16 of the World Championship. Effectively a very similar bracket to what we've had in previous years for the CWL champs, where you've got 32 teams for 8 groups of 4 teams, and the top 2 get out of every single group. So Doug's team manages to do so, but unfortunately yesterday Doug fell short. They ended up top 16. They got double first rounded in the bracket, and yeah, Doug's hoped, I suppose, to be the world champion at least in some form or another ends unfortunately here. Disappointing to see, but a lot of great teams honestly in the challenger side right now, and that's Doug's season over, right? So he says literally heartbroken, as you can see right here. So really unfortunate for Doug, but I think he's proved a lot of people wrong in a sense this year. He's actually been a very solid player there in the challenger scene, and it's been great to track his progress, right, and see how things go. And who knows, next season things might be different. I think he's got somewhat unlucky with the team situations that he's found himself in this season and getting screwed over at times. We certainly talked about earlier on this season, but Doug will be back in force if he certainly wants to be. We'll have to see what he thinks about going forwards, right, because there's going to be a few months away right until the next game comes out, and there's another opportunity for Doug to win one of these challenger tournaments and try and get himself back into the Pro League at some point. But always enjoyable to track his progress, no doubt, and I'm pretty sure they lost to FeLo's teams. That was Team Canada, and then they lost to UT Crew to round out their tournament. So they played some pretty solid squads in the end, but it didn't work out too well for UT Crew going down to the wire. These then are the challengers finals in terms of how things are shaping up for the next couple of days. So in the North American side, we've got the Los Angeles Guerrillas Academy. That's Cheen, Nero, Exceed, and Morgs. Do have to wonder there really with the LAG Academy what LAG do next season with their roster, because obviously their starting roster is absolutely terrible and the season is over for them. So what do you do there, right? Do you decide to keep aBeZy? Do you keep any pieces of that current team? And do you start bringing in some of the players from your academy squad, right, to your pro squads? Because you've tried to use this academy squad to try and build up some talent that might be actually useful in your pro team. But at the same time, if you've got a lot of money, which LAG do have, do you actually become a really big player in the off-season and try and nab some really big talent and maybe pair that with some of these guys from your academy squad? It's somewhat difficult to say, but they've been doing great as of late here in the challenger scene, so have to see how it goes for the next couple of days here. They're playing Emery's and co. Then we've got TJHaLy, Method, Slacked, and Decimate. They're of course in the winner's side here, playing Pro Loot, Spark, Mohawk, and Saints. The Team Canada squad that knocked Doug down to the losers bracket will be playing against Jerd and co. And then we've got Parasite's team, Law Gaming. They're still continuing on here. I'm pretty sure in the lower side they're going to be playing Built by Gamers to continue on their run. In the European and Asia Pacific side, we've got this bracket as you can see right now. So these are the ones that are all matching up for the last couple of days. So this is there's a lot of money on the line for these tournaments, right? $100,000, I'm pretty sure easily in at least the North American region, probably the European region as well. And Asia Pacific, I believe, is 50 grand. So not a bad payday by any means if you take this one home. And I'll keep you guys updated on how this develops over the coming days. Most certainly did think this was kind of interesting, right? Because about the time that Doug ended up getting knocked out of the tournament, they do this little thing on DiamondCon right here. No Doug, no dub. Because of course, Doug Censor Martin was on the subliners last season for a while. He was, he's been very frustrated this season, especially in last season. Also, the fact that he was effectively stuck on the bench. He was promised to a degree that he'd be able to compete in on their starting team, but never really was given an opportunity. And DiamondCon effectively comes in this year as kind of the bench player who effectively kind of replaced Doug in that role. And Doug goes to the challenger scene and probably had a better time in things that he would have done just sitting on the entire bench this entire season on the subliners. But then again, right, with DiamondCon getting the opportunity he had and some of the roster changes that New York have gone through, maybe Doug even would have got an opportunity if he'd have been on their bench this time round. But interesting that they say no Doug, no dub right here, and then just a couple of hours later gets knocked out of the challenger scene. I love this kid. Probably the only time in my career I was happy that someone replaced me, to be honest. He deserves it, says Doug Censor Martin. This is what Method says then. GG's Easter and Hacky. Secure top 6 and play Nato and Co on Saturday for the top 3 in the rest of the tournament. And just to finish out with the video with this from Crimsix, he was certainly going rogue on the timeline yesterday. You guys may have seen it, but this is another example of Crimsix just absolutely losing the plot on Twitter. You've got to respect this guy. CL Team Fat6, he says right here, and I thought this is funny as well from Parasite. Crim told me he went laughing with the actual military/police force. Look at the video here, just in a second to finish out the video. All I could think of was this image. But tweeting your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Will Clayster possibly still return to the subliners? What should Doug Censor Martin do going forwards? And who will win that Challengers World Championship? Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm. You enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well. And help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.
Through the car, yep.
Good smoke, Doug. Where did he play?
Nice,
Oh,
good blood,
Stolly
Doug.
card.
Play your life, back up a little bit.
Doug, I got your street, Doug.
Yeah, I got green.
Holding mid, look,
Easy, Doug.
Jesus.
Doug, take it easy, Doug. Take it easy.
I'll get one off spawn. I'll get one off spawn.
Let them come to you.
Street.
Green door, side green.